Hey, what's up? What's up? Joe in Vegas here, back with another review. Ringo Starr and his all-star band. Ringo obviously is a legend. I cannot tell you, it'll be a whole review on its own, how big of a Beatles fan I am. I am a massive Beatles fan. I have been most of my life, almost all of my life, that has grown with time, with internet, with clips. As music got shittier, my love and fondness for the Beatles got stronger because we really just realized over time how fucking good they were. And as music got shittier, that's it, kind of like, when something floats to the surface. That's what happened with Beatles and a lot of old rock and roll and stuff like that. But I'm not going to get into my love of Beatles because we don't have that much time. But Ringo obviously is the drummer of the Beatles. My take on Ringo has always been, he served his purpose in the Beatles well. He was the funny guy. He was the straight guy. He was the non-drama guy. He was the lovable guy. The cool thing about the Beatles were how talented the four of them were. Ringo obviously is an incredible drummer, but he also wrote a handful of songs, so I think a couple on his own and some with John and Paul. I was never a massive fan of the Ringo songs. Now, they're earworms. They're like, I've always compared them to children's songs. They just sound like children's songs. We all live in a yellow submarine, and Octopus's Garden, and although they're like really catchy, simple songs that kind of just work really well. And once you hear them once and you remember them the rest of your life. And that was his strength. I don't think musically they're incredible songs, but they're catchy, and that works just as well. And he's got a handful of them. So walking in, that you're seeing, a Beatle. That's 90% of the reason why people go. You are seeing a living, breathing Beatle, which there's a time clock on that. But you're also going to hear the Ringo stuff. I think if most people know going to the show, they're not going to hear like the standard Beatles stuff. They do a little teasing throughout the show of some of the bigger Beatles hits, but they don't play them. They just play like 2 seconds of them just to get a crowd going. But you'd think you're going to see Ringo. Now, the important part of introducing this is and the name is Ringo Starr and the All-Star Band. And your brain normally when you hear that kind of discards the All-Star Band and you figure you're going for Ringo. This is very different in this case, and it's awesome. I've seen this Ringo and the All-Star Band probably 6 or 7 years ago. I think every time he goes on tour, it changes it up a little bit. What's his name was on the last one? Steve Lukather from Toto, and he's in a couple other bands. This time he had Steve, he had Edgar Winter, he had Colin Hay, which was from Men at Work, Hamish Stewart, who I didn't know off the top of my head who he was, but when he played his songs, you knew. Warren Ham and Greg Bissonette. Now, what makes this concert so unique and so fucking good is, like I said, you're going there for Ringo, but he surrounds himself with these incredibly talented and incredibly successful musicians that have had careers and hits of their own. Big hits, big fucking hits. So what you're getting is, they'll do a Ringo song and then they'll do, a Toto song or they'll do Frankie song. I'll get into the set list in a minute. And what ends up happening is you get this mix. It's like a mix of 80s and Beatles and it's just, you end up with this unbelievable set list, this hit after hit after hit of just music that's played just to perfection. Let me get into the set list. He starts with Matchbox, and then he does a big Ringo song. I think it was a solo one. It Don't Come Easy. Also, to me, they're good songs. I know them very well. They just sound like children's songs, but that's what Ringo is, and that's cool. What Goes On, a Beatles song, and then Edgar Winter does Free Ride. Then they did Rosanna by Toto, which is such a great song. Then they did this one, Pick Up the Pieces by the Average White Band, and that's the guy Hamish Stewart who's in this band. That is one of those instrumental songs that you don't know, but you fucking know. It came out in the 70s, I believe. It's in every movie, Swingers, every TV show. I would sing it for you, but I'm not going to do it justice. But look it up. It's called Picking Up the Pieces. It's such a cool instrumental. It's that music that plays in a cool movie every time someone walks in the room or something cool's going down. Then they go from that. Again, this is starting to be hit after hit after hit. Free Ride, Rosanna, Pick Up the Pieces. And then this, I think, is what really, I'm an 80s kid, man. Men at Work were massive. He has such a distinct voice, and he has such a distinct sound. And you don't realize until you're in this kind of concert and you're starting to hear these songs live how good they were. The next song was Down Under. God damn, what a good song that is. It's such a timeless, unique, beautiful, it's just pure in your ears. It's such a good song, and to hear it live on a night where you're coming out to hear Yellow Submarine and you get a treat to hear these kinds of songs like Rosanna and Down Under, it just adds. It's icing on the cake. But I don't want to take away from these guys. This all-star band, these songs is what made this show incredible. Then they did Boys by the Shirelles. God, I don't know. I'm the Greatest, which is a Ringo song, and then he does Yellow Submarine, which is probably, maybe not, probably his top one or two. Probably, probably up there. I mean, Yellow Submarine is just iconic. The symbolism of it. I don't have to get again. I don't want to make this a Beatles review because it's not. It's a Ringo review. So Yellow Submarine is just as iconic as you can get, and somehow these little Ringo kid songs that like I said, I keep calling them that. The couple of them, like that one and Octopus's Garden and Help from My Friends, they made it up the ladder on like top Beatles songs ever, which is incredible. And it's a testament to Ringo and how just how catchy those songs are. Anyway. Then he left the stage for a little bit. They did Cut the Cake by Average White Band again, which sounded a lot like the Pick Up the Pieces, but it's so good that I didn't care. Then they played, Edgar Winter did Frankenstein, which is just a monster song, and so good. It's so good. And then they did Octopus's Garden, which is probably my favorite Ringo song from the Beatles. So good. Back Off Boogaloo. They did Overkill, another Men at Work song that I totally forgot about. So If you have a minute, go on YouTube when you're done with this. Don't you dare leave my fucking review. But when you're done with this review, pull up Men at Work's Overkill. What a song, man. I completely forgot about that. Then they went into Africa. I mean, does it get bigger than Toto's Africa? And you got to remember, these guys on stage, they're all-stars. They are incredible musicians. They nail it. They fucking nail it. It was so good. Then they do Work to Do with his Isley Brothers cover. I Want to Be Your Man, Beatles. Edgar Winter did a Johnny Be Good, Chuck Berry song, did a cover of that. Another Men at Work. I didn't realize until last night how much I fucking loved Men at Work. Who Can It Be Now? Who Can It Be Knocking at My Door? He's such a cool voice, man. And then this one, another monster by Toto, Hold the Line. What a song, man. What a fucking song. Photograph by Ringo. And then he did Act Naturally. And then he finished with a little help from my friends, which, again, I think Joe Cocker made that song epic. But the Ringo version is awesome. I mean, it's Ringo. It's like, Ringo has a very specific style to him. He's peace and love. The whole show, he's flashing peace symbols. He's been the same for so long. He looks great. I think he's 80-something. He looks like he's 45. Fucker looks younger than me, asshole. But he looks good. He looks healthy. He looks happy. He didn't seem tired. He's just peace and love. He's a fucking Beatle, man. To be that close to a fucking Beatle is just something special. I loved this show. I don't know. I remember seeing it last time, and last time he had different guys. He had like the dude from Mr. and he had that Todd Rundgren. I forgot his name. I don't want to work. I just want to bang on these drums all day. He had different guys, and it was different songs. This band between Edgar Winters and Colin Hay and Steve was at the last one too. So they had the Toto. They had the Africa. God, I'm fucked up tonight. They had the Toto songs at the last show, but this one, the Men at Work stuff, to me took it to another level. It was such a great fucking show. It was hit after hit. It was a celebration of music from different eras and different genres. It's a lot more than seeing Ringo Starr from the Beatles. That's for sure. I mean, that's what sells the tickets, and it's almost like a magic act. You go there for Ringo to see a Beatle and to hear Beatles songs, and you are blown away by his band and his all-star band. I highly recommend this show. On a scale of 1 to 10, I am going to give it a 9.8. That's how much we enjoyed this show. The person I was with, too, we loved it. Everybody was happy. I have friends that went the night before, loved it. It is such an enjoyable time out. Tickets are not so expensive when you compare them to all the other shit that's out there. I think I bought these early. I don't usually buy tickets when they first go on sale, but I did with Ringo because I'm such a big Beatles fan. I wanted to make sure I got good seats. I believe I paid $130 a ticket, maybe something like that. So it was, and I was down in the front. It's a great deal. I mean, just, man, great show. Go see it, go see it, go see it. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, if you were at the shows or you've seen them recently or going to see them, leave some comments. I want to hear what you think. Thanks for listening. I will see you at the next show. Happy Memorial Day. Be safe. Subscribe. Bye-bye.